nodding in agreement to avoid those frozen lakes. Damon, it is this temperature is not to be played with at all.
No, and I enjoy a good skate whenever you can get a frozen pond like that, but you need a couple weeks before that water can totally freeze down. So avoid it if you can.
You know what else I experienced today while I was out reporting this morning? I had to take off my gloves sometimes, and the pain of the air on my skin was unbearable.
Yep, it's not only cold, but it's just dry too. It's that classic winter Arctic kind of setup.
Yep.
And we're stuck with it. It's going to stay cold, and not many people are fans of this, folks. Look at it out there right now. I mean, we zoomed this camera out to try to look at Roslyn, and it's still shaking like crazy. That goes to show how strong the winds are once again today. At the very least, we have very sunny skies, so that is trying to offset some of this cold, but it's January, folks. The sunshine can only do so much for the little bit of time that we have it. Here are those steady wind speeds. Again, I showed gusts a little bit earlier on that were up around 30 to 40 miles per hour, so that's obviously the occasional stronger end of this wind, but consistently we are seeing wind speeds 15 to 25 miles per hour as we go throughout the rest of the afternoon. This will stay just as blustery, and that is having that extra layer of cold, if you will, to everything out there. Air temperatures right now have gotten up to 31 once again in DC. We've made it back to the 30s, but everybody else is mostly in the 20s west of the city and I-95. And then, of course, when you factor in that wind, it feels so much colder, about 10 to 15 degrees colder. Wind chills are still in the single digits out to the west. It feels like 13 in Winchester. Not as bad in Waldorf at 27, but nonetheless, this wind chill is not going to leave us alone, at least for the next 24 hours. Then we'll start to calm things down on Friday. So those wind chills the rest of the afternoon, we'll see some locations south of DC in Virginia, southern Maryland, getting up briefly into the 20s with those wind chills. But everybody else, it will feel like it is in the teens straight throughout the rest of the day. And last night we experienced this. We'll see more of the same tonight by 10 p.m. We're talking about single digit wind chills, and there will be some locations waking up early tomorrow morning with those wind chills just below zero. But again, the good news is the wind is expected to calm down on Friday, and that is going to lead to a major improvement in terms of how those wind chills feel. So that's the first and foremost thing we're dealing with here in the short term, but all eyes are continuing to be on Friday night going into Saturday morning. There will be another storm system. This one, though, is going to be passing by way south of us, mostly down toward the Carolinas. Southern Virginia is where you'll find the center of this storm. But we will be clipped by this, and we will see snowfall beginning around midnight on Friday night. It will go into the early morning hours on Saturday. Here we are Saturday at 5 a.m. But look at where the dark blues are at. Down toward Virginia Beach, into North Carolina, mixed precipitation along the Outer Banks. Meanwhile, here we are just going to see a very light snowfall. So this is not going to be anything close to Monday. This is not going to be a significant snowstorm for the DMV. As a matter of fact, most of this snow will start wrapping up by 8, 9 o'clock on Saturday morning, and then by lunchtime, we're all in the clear here. But think about it, folks. We still have some places that are still trying to dig out from Monday's snowfall. We still have some icy roadways out there. So we are issuing a DMV First Warn Day Saturday morning out of precaution because we're about to add on another inch or two of snowfall on top of what's already out there. And again, we have some locations where the roads, the sidewalks are still covered. So this could be of impact for anybody trying to get their day started on Saturday. But again, look at these totals that we are expecting for Friday night into Saturday morning. The large majority of us here expecting possibly only a trace as high as 2 inches in and around DC and across most of the DMV here. You have to go out to the mountains where we'll still have that upslope wind flow going up and over the higher terrain that will lead to a little bit more snow shower activity, and that could produce up to 5 inches in Garrett, Allegheny, Mineral counties. These are locations that have already been hit multiple times, but yes, we're not expecting a major snowfall, but nonetheless, it will be impactful because of the fact that we are still trying to dig out from earlier in the week. So cold the next couple of days. There's that snow wrapping up Saturday morning, and then we're pretty much good to go, just staying cold as we head throughout the rest of the weekend into early next week.